Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be a long-range outlook, but more so focusing on the weekend weather and the potential for some lake effect, the potential for some first snow in many areas, and the potential for, or the most likelihood, for another reinforcing cold shot of bitter air, or bitter for at least this time of the year. There will be some 20s, some teens even up in the north woods, so definitely something to be concerned about. If you like these type of videos, if you like these type of updates, consider subscribing, consider liking the video. That helps my channel grow, and thank you for that. If you're wondering why on the last video I had captions at the bottom, well, it's only on this Google Slides that I use, and that is not a thing that I could put on every. So on these long range outlooks, what I'm saying is there won't be no captions, only the ones that YouTube has manually. So apologize about that. But we go through this, we could see I have some rain today. We had some rain showers in Chicago, some rain showers across the Midwest, and you can see actually some some snow showers, a little clipper frontal system that's not necessarily a strong cold front. You can see, if we draw this out quickly, if you want me to do this, comment in the section box below whether you like when I draw this out. So we have this low right here, cold front something like this, a warm front somewhere like that, and out into the sea. However, you can see that there's not much associated with this cold front, not much energy, not much at all. So this is more of just a little disturbance that will be passing through rather than a front with some showers after it. And we have it. I'll show you the cold air in a minute. Actually, I will show you it right now. Let's go to the NAM 12KM. Let's go to 2-meter temp anomalies. And then remember, the NAM sometimes is a little bit biased towards the cold, but I do think it is doing a fairly well job of representing this. You can see there it is. Very defined cold front right there, sweeping in across the country with that low right there and that warm front again over there. And that, again, you can see that cold air sweeps into this like a bulb. It's actually a very nice shape this time around. Usually it's more scraggly, but this time it's fairly uniform and fairly, takes shape and cools a lot of this eastern part of the United States. The southeast, the east coast, everyone east of the Rockies, excluding parts of South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas, will be seeing below average temps. That continues for a little bit. You can see according to the NAM, it continues all the way through the weekend, and then things start to break up a little bit, and that's what I want to focus on, because this could be our main next our next potential for a pattern change. When the warm air starts coming back in, we could start seeing some very active storms or very active patterns setting up, and some fairly large storms that, if it's cold enough, and we won't have it around, I think these next couple of storms that we will have, but for the later ones, we could see some big snows out of them. So this is actually the new GFS that's coming in, but let's just put on the 12Z since it only goes out that far. The cold air running out of energy, running out of room, but again, it sticks around for quite a while, more than it would seem like it would. So I would say all the way through next week, almost into the weekend, the northwest is boiling up with warm temperatures, while the southeast and east is still trying so hard to hold on to that warm air. But it most likely won't. After some time, the warm air will overboil. You can see it's still desperately trying, but then this warm air here is just undeniable, and it eventually spills into the United States. You could see the warm, or into the southern eastern United parts of the United States, but afterwards we might actually even see another reinforcing cold shot. So what I would say right now is warmer temperature, or cold temperatures, a cold shot this weekend, depending on where you live, the further southeast you go, extending through the next weekend, and then we could actually be seeing a warm-up for about 4 or 5 days, and it's not going to be insanely warm like we had in the 80s and the 90s, that insane week of temperatures that everybody was complaining about. This is going to be like 60s, maybe 70s if you live further south in, say, Georgia, South Carolina. But again, those areas seem to be fairly cool and hold on to that colder air a little bit better than the rest of the United States. So This warm air eventually again does come through and holds on for about 4 to 5 days, but then we could have another reinforcing cold shot. Now let me look at the MSLP and precip to show you the precipitation that may be falling at this time. When at this time where the temperatures are going up and down. You can see what we have right now: some snow showers, some lake effect. We have a high pressure here producing that cold air that eventually goes away, and we start seeing some warming conditions. But I would say this upcoming week is going to be very dry, excluding the northwest and parts of the south. But for much of the rest of the country, it's going to be fairly dry. We see this weak little system try to develop right here. We see a greater system offshore, which actually the European model has, producing snow in New England and especially parts of Maine. So I may need to make a video on that, but as of now, the GFS has it off coast, so there are some differences, and you can see that with these storms, there will be some warm air brought up by them, but they pass through with their own little cold front. But again, when we have these type of setups where it's storm after storm, sometimes the warm air is more prevalent than the cold air, because the storm is just bringing up the warm air. They try cooling it off with their own little cold front, but then the next storm rises in and ruins what that storm tried to do at the end. So it's kind of like a non-logical thing that the storms are doing. But again, their goal is not to cool us off. Their goal is just to produce what they want to. And you can see we have a big storm. Again, this is very far out, so I won't even focus on this, but we can start seeing some big snowstorms off in parts of the United States. So this is definitely something you'll need to watch. Earlier runs were showing these storms with more snow. Now they're showing them with more rain and less snow. Nevertheless, I think we're in for a pattern change after this upcoming cold shot that will be happening this weekend. Let's actually look. I wanted to go on total accumulated precip. You can see that nothing insanely much greater, nothing great across the eastern part of the United States. That's due to the fact that this upcoming week, anywhere from Monday through Saturday, this upcoming week, we won't be seeing much rain at all. We won't be seeing anything at all. No snow, no rain, nothing much at all, other than parts of the south, which will be receiving this rain in the next couple of days and then drying out, or the northwest, which actually will be receiving quite a bit of rain. So otherwise than that, quite a bit of rain for the southwest. Typically this time of the year they don't see their wettest period. Their wettest period is January through February. So this is typical, seeing some spots being in the white. But again, we're getting towards that wetter season in the southwest, so we'll need to be keeping an eye on that. But overall, I would say, again, cooler in the east, northeast, or turn part of the United States, and then wetter and mainly warmer, but mainly wetter, I meant to say, and a little bit warmer in the northwest. Let's go to a different model. Let's call the CMC Canadian model, and let's go to its precip. You can see that it, again, has some sort of I think that may be a tropical storm, tropical disturbance. If it leaves that much, I actually don't know exactly. I'll look at it in a minute. But again, much of the country very dry, excluding parts of the northwest where it could be a little bit warmer. Let's go to MSLP and precip. You can see it has those storms again. Yeah, so it does have some sort of disturbance, not necessarily tropical, like just hanging on there for quite a while, a couple of days, and then just storm after storm passing through. So that could lead to quite a bit of rain. But again, I would say the south, it will be the wettest, along with the northwest, and the west will be the warmest, and east will be the coolest. If we were to look at the 6 to 10 day outlook in terms of precip by the Climate Prediction Center, you could see they have below average for the eastern, southeastern third, and above average for the northwestern third of the United States. And again, these contrasts aren't insanely high. There's quite a bit of confidence here in California, but mainly 50-40% of confidence, which is a 50-50 shot of, or a 50 more percent. They're saying that it's 50 more percent likely to be warm than cold, which it may seem like a lot, but it's actually not. There's been days and forecasts where, I remember a couple of weeks ago I've been showing you where there was, I think, 90% of being below average and 90% being above average. It was insane. And in terms of precip, again, I would say the southeast above average, maybe here by Michigan a little bit below average, but we'll need to see how that plays out. And then northwest, again, above average, with the southwest being slightly below average, but I wouldn't be too confident on these browns. I think I'll just leave it in the neutral zone. If we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, you could see very similar actually. The warm air spreads a little bit further to the west, but neutral to below average for the eastern chunk, and warmer to slightly warmer for the western chunk. So no extremes really, just some milder air possibly infiltrating into the east, and for sure mild air into the west. Then we look at the precipitation probability. You could see east coast above average, the northwest still staying above average, however a little bit less than what they have been seeing, what they will see for the next 6 to 10 days, and below average conditions continue in the southwest. At this point, I do think we could start seeing some below average conditions, but for the next 6 to 10 days, I still want to be sure. But again, we definitely could start seeing again this precip definitely racking up quite a bit with those ramping up. I meant to say with those big storms that we could be expecting with the pattern change. I may be making a video on that. We'll see how that goes. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode.